Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi coming to you live from Los Angeles, California for our regular Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time session where we talk about general education topics on U.S. immigration. So if you're interested in coming to the United States, there's a lot of stuff going on. We'll give you some general ideas of what's going on, what to do before you go in, talk with an immigration attorney in private. That's what we're here for this live Q&A. We also give out 3 free video consultations. So the goal is for people that are regular viewers in particular, that you know, if you're watching the live show, if you like and subscribe, and then in the comments, write consultation, my wonderful assistant Katrina will name off a person every 10 minutes for the 30-minute show. So that's 3. We get free, no cost, 15-minute video consultations in private. So we'd actually talk about situations there that we can't in this public setting about your personal life to the extent that we can fit it in there. So just if you're interested in that, watch the show, like, subscribe, and write a consultation, and we'll hopefully get you to be a winner on that. Also, if you're interested in learning about the marriage immigration process, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. Best one out there. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com and you can download it there. It's going to be a big help. You'll read it and be amazed how much of a wealth of information that is before you even go talk to a lawyer. Any person who contacts my office looking for a marriage case, the first thing I do is say, read this ebook. You email me, you'll see for yourself. I say, you can schedule a consultation, but here's an ebook. Read it, and then if you still want to come, then we'll do it. There's a lot of stuff in there that's going to be very helpful. That could help you out. Other than that, we do a seminar every Friday. For every quarter, the topic changes. Right now, it's about the E2 investor visa. 10:30 a.m., 10:30 in the morning Pacific time on Fridays. A live private seminar about the E2 investor visa. If you're coming to the United States to start a business, investing, or something like that, it's a great thing to do. A lot of people take advantage of it. That's one of my favorite visas to do. So there's more housekeeping stuff, I'm sure, that I can't remember right now. This is general education only, not intended for individual legal advice. But having said that, let's just jump into it. So we're waiting. A lot of questions are starting to come in, and we're organizing them. Let me check Instagram really quick. But the immigration news has been relatively positive recently. We're seeing movement forward, both on the embassy side. They're restacking, and new people are coming in. The State Department's hiring new officers for the consulates, and they're getting fully staffed. So, for example, the U.S. Embassy in India have posted that they're going to restart tourist visa processing because in the fall they're going to be full of staff. And we're seeing some movement and some faster adjudication times on the embassy side. And within the U.S. on USCIS, although I get a lot of requests from people who've had cases pending for years and they want to sue because of the delays, I just see a disproportionate number of that because it's the kind of work I'm in. Overall, majority of my cases are getting done really fast. When it comes to the green card cases, we just had an E2 visa. Now, this is a pre-processing case, but we got it approved in 6 days. We're going to do a case study on that so viewers can learn more about the E2 visas in practice and what kind of stuff people have gotten. So that's something that's happening. And the marriage immigration adjustment status, it really depends on your local office, how long they're taking. But most officers are getting adjustment status cases done within a year in the United States, applying for a green card. If it's marriage-based, employment cases, probably a year or two. They're trying to speed that up too. So there's a lot of effort to speed it up. There may be increases in filing fees. So the cost of doing immigration on the price is probably going to be going up because more they just need the money with inflation and everything that's happening. So it's something to keep in mind that if you're going to file something, you want to save some money. Maybe it's better to do it now rather than later when the prices go up. One of our regulars, 29 Super C, says, "Good night, Attorney Khosravi. Missed the last 2 weeks. Seems you're way better than the last time I saw your show. God bless." Well, God bless you. Thank you so much. I've been exercising, eating better, all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's the lighting as well, but taking supplements, all of these kind of things to make it a little better. But that's that. We have another viewer, Rafiq, says, hi to you as well. So if you're all tuning in, feel free to post your questions here, and we'll do our best to answer them. Other questions that pop up, and this is a situation we're getting a lot because we're doing a lot of videos on it. The more videos that I do, more people come up, is they complete a case like an I-130. This is when you submit it for a family member. And in the application with USCIS for the I-130, it says, do you want to finish off the case in the United States or through the embassy? And they mistakenly write in the United States. What happens is the case just stays in the U.S. where the loved one, like the spouse, is stuck overseas, or they are overseas. They have to go through the embassy system for consular processing and do an interview at the embassy before they could get things going. Now, the problem is to get the case moved from USCIS internally in the United States out to the embassy system. It's a long process. You have to use Form I-824. Now, the Form I-824 is really badly designed. It's hard to understand. Putting that aside, we've seen cases for I-824 be pending for over a year, and even once it's approved, it's still not doing what it's supposed to do. You're using this Form I-824, paying hundreds of dollars in filing fees to tell USCIS to send our case to the embassy. And even after they took the money, waited a year, and approved it, they still haven't sent the case to the embassy. You got to call and complain, and I've had to call once, have to sue them to get them to do what they're going to do. So this is a big head that's happening. If you are doing your case yourself, be very cautious on the I-130, where it asks where you want the case to be processed, whether at the local field office, the city and state, or at the embassy, the city and country that is. Be very cautious of where you're choosing, because if you show that you're doing it in the United States, then it's going to be a major problem. So be prepared for that. One of our viewers, Nadega, says, "Hi, John. God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you for coming on." We have a question from Rafiq. Rafiq asks, "I have withholding of removal and I applied for adjustment of status for my I-130 through my wife. I've been waiting over 2 years. How long do you think I have to wait to apply since May 2020? I don't know the timelines. If you have withholding of removal as a serious situation, I don't want to jump in and give an opinion on something that's complex if you've been in removal proceedings. So I suggest you talk to attorney in private, but these things take time. It's really hard to say it about the timelines in that way." Elise Flower asks, actually Jasmine Hernandez asks, about how long does it take after the I-130 application to be approved? Now, Jasmine, there's 4 or 5 different types of I-130 petitions you can make for your parents, for your spouse, for your children, the children that are married, that are single, children above the age of 21 or under, brothers and sisters, and each one has a different timeline depending on how much of a priority it is. For example, if you apply for your brother and sister, have these I-130s take 3 years or 10 years, both. If you apply for your spouse and you're a U.S. citizen, it takes on average 8 to 10 months. If you're a green card holder, it takes a year to 2 years. So the I-130 is a very versatile application. There's 10 or 15 different scenarios, whether the person submitting is a green card holder or citizen, and what relationship they have to a foreign person, and that foreign person married or single or above or 21 and 21. It all varies. And whatever timeline I say, it could all be completely different because of the way USCIS works. So try checking out uscis.gov for your particular application. But warning, 99% of the time, the timelines make no sense there and they're completely useless. But it's better they give you useless information than I do because we just don't know. I don't know enough information. Even if I did, these things could take a long time. For example, when I usually submit a petition from a U.S. citizen to their parent to get a green card, we start with the I-130 if the parent's overseas, and normally the I-130 takes 10 months. I just had one approved today that took a year and 8 months. And the reason for it was we needed to submit a marriage certificate, but they had lost it. So we had to get all these other documents. And I don't know if it's the reason they didn't tell us, but knowing how complex the situation got to prove that this person was really married to the person's mom, the petitioner, I'm sure that was the reason why it took twice as long as it normally does to get this I-130 approved. Now, you follow up and say for sibling, I-130 for siblings take 3 to 10 years for the I-130 to be approved. But then once that's approved, you have to wait for the visa bulletin to be current. The line that exists for brother and sister cases has to come forward. So there's a lot going on there. Brother and sister case, the I-130 approval doesn't make a difference unless you're using a thing called the Child Status Protection Act. Let's say your sibling has children and they want to be part of the application. The time it takes for the I-130 to be adjudicated is very important. The longer it takes, the better, actually, in that case. That's a whole other subject. I give a really big answer so all our viewers get understanding of the complexities of trying to guess timelines on this kind of stuff. But thank you for your question. Elise Flower asks, a case pending, I-130 already married. I-130 already married at 183 days in Nebraska, 7 months, taking on 10 months, 11 months, married I-130. This is all normal. You just got to wait, really. Now, they ask, I'm waiting for an answer in my interview about asylums of 7 months. Do you think that I can have my green card after all that time? No, that's completely unrelated. So asylum interviews could take anywhere from 3 to 4 months to get after you file them. If it's an affirmative asylum with USCIS, different from the court-based defensive asylums. But if you file affirmative asylum, I know cases, I don't take asylum cases, but people contact me, they've been waiting 4 or 5, 6 years for their asylum interview. But if your asylum is approved, and maybe not, I don't know, but if it's approved, you have to still wait another year after that to get your green card approved. That's if you haven't messed up or created issues that prevent you from getting a green card. So when you ask, can I get a green card all this time? Well, first of all, you gotta have your asylum interview. Second of all, it has to be approved. Third of all, you have to wait a year after that. Fourth, you got to apply for a green card. Excuse me. And within that time, not have problems that can be problematic. Now, I do want to announce our first winner of our raffle for free consultation, Jasmine Hernandez off of LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining. If you'd like to have a private video consultation for 15 minutes, no cost, please take a screenshot if possible where you're watching this so I know it's you, and email that to me as an attachment so I know it's your account, and I'll send you information on scheduling a time. For those just tuning in, we give live free video consultations for those watching a live program. All you got to do is like and subscribe wherever you're watching to this channel and write consultation. My wonderful assistant, Katrina, will name a winner, two more winners. So in 10 minutes and then 20 minutes, we'll name them. So you get a chance to talk in private about your case. And also, again, if you're interested in the marriage green card case, it's really a family case because there's a lot of education for family-based cases in my guide. Download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. So I'm going to switch off to Instagram and take some stuff over there. Also ask, I had my green card intro approved on May, your interview, but the PRC, the preliminary green card lost during transit. The PRC, I'm not sure, permanent resident card was lost during transit. Okay, lost. Just say green card. Immigration lawyers do not use any technical terms. So sometimes people email me and say my form I-797. I-797 just means a paper from the government. Just say my green card was lost when I was coming. That's all you got to say. I was advised by USCIS to apply for replacement I-90. I'm worried it'll take too long. Yeah, it will take too long. What you have to do is get a green card stamp in your passport. So it's an unfortunate situation that happens like 3-4% of the time, which is the nightmare of getting your case approved. And when the green card gets shipped to you in the mail, the post office loses it. Many times USCIS will say, no, you lost it and blame it on you and require you to pay the money to get a new green card. But at this point, you don't have any green card or proof of work authorization. What you do until it comes, this person needs proof because the EAD they have is invalid now because your green card is approved. So even that EAD is invalid. You're finding work as a green card holder. What you have to do is file the form I-90, go give your fingerprints, and then schedule a time with USCIS, your local field office, to an info class appointment to ask for a green card stamp in your passport. And that's proof that you're a resident, and you can use that for work. You can use that for traveling, all that kind of stuff. You got to do that. Now, if you had your green card interview outside the United States at the embassy, they put an immigrant visa stamp in your passport. Once you enter, the CBP officer at the customs officer at the airport stamps it. 1 year from the day of that stamping, that immigrant visa stamp in your passport will act as a regular green card. So if you did do an embassy interview, that could hold you over for the year until a new green card comes. But unfortunately, this is a sad story I hear all the time. We have a question from, sorry, Instagram doesn't make it easy to go through this. Onur asks, if change of status is taking more than a year, is it helpful to file a mandamus lawsuit? If you want to, it depends on what your case is and stuff like that. I also asked, my question is, how long would it take for, okay, yeah, we got to that. Starting off space, no problem. See, it's a simple question. They lost it. How long to replace? There's no timelines. It takes forever sometimes. All right, let's go back to the other ones. Rafiq guys, is it hard for those who have withholding removal to adjust status? It's not hard or easy. It depends on the facts of your case, Rafiq. So talk with an attorney in private. Bichel asks, how long is I-765 processing taking these days based on adjustment status pending? Most of the time, 5 to 6 weeks, but there's cases that take longer. I have a couple of cases that go in months now, but majority of them, 5 or 6 weeks to get your work permit while you have an adjustment of status green card case form I-45 pending. Tanaji asks, can a U.S. citizen apply for his wife, parents, and brother at the same time? Well, you could apply. The wife and the parents could move forward. The brother, not so much. So if the brother's under the age of 21, usually I'd apply for like one of the parents to get both the parents green cards, whichever. Their strategy is something we got to talk in private, so it's general information because we got to flesh out what the facts are. But your parents then apply for your brother. That's going to be faster if your brother's under 21, even if they're above 21. But as a citizen, if you apply for a sibling, it's just going to take too long. So it's not a good thing. But it is possible to apply the I-130. The problem is, when is the case going to be done? For brother-sister case, it's going to take forever. For wife, parents, children, it's a little bit faster depending on a lot of other factors. So that's something to talk with the attorney about in private would be good. Saqib asks, hi, John, can a delay in approval of I-45 more than 1 year cause the MBC to terminate my case? No. If the MBC already has your case, then then you wouldn't need the I-240. I-240 is done. So that question doesn't fit. You have the I-240 to move the case to the NBC. If the NBC has it, then they don't need the I-240 anymore. So that doesn't make sense. But I think what your worry is that there's this requirement from the National Visa Center that once they have your case, you have to be in communication with them within a 1 year. You can't let 1 year pass without having certain types of communication with them to keep the case alive. So yeah, you would need to do that if the case was at the NBC. But if it was at the NBC, then you wouldn't need the I-240 anymore. That was done. So there's a mix up there, but I think that answers the question. Hamza asks, can I apply for a fiance visa online through the USCIS website? I don't file anything online. I don't know. I doubt it if the I-129F form is online, but it may be. I just don't file anything online with them, so I don't keep track of that. They have the I-130 marriage-based case online, but I'm not sure if they added the I-129F fiance yet. But again, I don't use those forms online. I only file by paper. Prab asks, if an asylee goes back to their home country after being granted asylum, so they have a problem with citizenship time, they can if the officer wants to make a problem with it. V-Child asks, family-based adjustment status is pending. How long is the I-745 taking these days? Yeah, it took typically 4 to 5 weeks, but it could be longer. Elise follows up, will they ship a visa to my husband who's waiting overseas or the address I will at? So a visa, if your husband did an embassy interview, his visa will be shipped to, every embassy has different procedures. It might be to his house, it might be the postal location. He may have to go visit it there. But if you're talking about the green card, where are they going to send the green card to? They typically only mail out green cards in the United States. I haven't mailed out one overseas before. They may do that, but I would not risk having your green card mailed out to a foreign location. That's too risky. So this is one of the good things about having the immigration attorney on the cases, because you could have it sent to your immigration attorney's office, and they could get it along with all the documents. That's another reason why having lawyers is really helpful in these kind of cases. Lukerson says, I live in Las Vegas. I filed for my wife. Instead of sending it to Phoenix, I send it to Carol Stream. What should I do? Most likely they'll just readjust it and send it to the right place. So wait a couple more weeks and they'll do it, unless you have some sort of deadline. In that case, you may need to refile or something like that. I don't know. I can't give individual legal guidance, but usually if you send it to the wrong lockbox, they'll send it to the right place. But I don't know, you might have sent it to some random person's address in Carol Stream or whatever. So I don't know the individual of the case, but potentially if you wait a little bit longer, it'll fix itself up. But if you have a deadline, that's another scenario. So you really should talk with an attorney in private to double check those stuff. User 09 asks, how many years F4 visa? For India, F4 visa is a family preference category. To check that out, go to Google, type in visa bulletin, and the State Department websites it comes up, and click on that and go to the most recent month of the visa bulletin, which lists how long things are taking. Or it's not how long things are taking, it's what current cases are they dealing with, because the timelines of how long these things take go faster and slower. So you go to the F4 category for India and you see how long that is. It's probably going to be 15, 20 years or something like that. Go check it out for yourself, because these things change. And I don't memorize this stuff because how often do I have a brother sister case for India pop up with the visa bulletins, the thing? Not too often. So check it out for yourself. That's a better way to learn it. Carl Parker asks, hi, how long does it take for a PIP to be approved? It depends on your local field office. Parole in place is a special feature where if you're, the parent or a spouse of a military personnel, U.S. military personnel, you can get this thing called parole, which kind of fixes up a situation if you didn't enter the United States with permission, a lawful admission, or the parole. So it's a good thing, but the local field office handles these, and it really depends on how long they're going to take. Some are slower, some are faster. Or Mezani asks, I got a question that my birth certificate is registered late and also marriage certificate. The marriage certificate may be better, but that's not good. But the birth certificate is going to be a problem. I applied for I-130 with my parents, but they said my birth certificate and marriage certificate registered late. Yeah, there you got RFE. So this is a major issue that pops up all the time across the world. And this is, again, one of those reasons why I wish people would hire a lawyer. I mean, not every lawyer is going to catch this. It's just years of experience. That's the priority of my firm, that we watch out for this is your birth certificate. Once you're born, some parents take a long time to register it. And if it takes more than 3 months, especially if it takes more than a year, USCIS will come back and say, we don't believe in the authenticity of this document because it took too long to register it. Explain to us why, find alternative documents, fix it, this and that. And along with your marriage certificate too, I never had a marriage certificate be registered late. That doesn't make sense because you're an adult, you do it, but hey, it happened. And then this happens where potentially a case you get denied. If you're doing adjustment of status, then it creates even more of a havoc. My assistant, Katrina, named you, Omer Nazimi, as the winner of our second free raffle for a consultation. just take a screenshot where you're watching this so I know it's you, and email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. We can talk more private about it. But you got to figure out, and sometimes it's not possible. Hopefully it is, but figure out a way to prove your identity based on the birth certificate and the marriage certificate, and to figure it out. A lot of times this happens to people from India, but it happens all across the world. And before we file a case, this is the first thing I tell clients in consultation: send me a birth certificate, send me a marriage certificate. I got to check the dates. I have people's names wrong. I have people's places of birth wrong on there. The government forgot to stamp and register it or certify it. We have the date of birth. I just had a case from Egypt. They put the kids' date of birth, kids too. They put the date of birth wrong in the birth certificate. So this stuff happens all the time. This is why you have a professional kind of review this stuff so they catch it beforehand. But it is what it is. I understand. I hope it will help. Hope I could help with that. Elise asks, does having an immigration lawyer help a case go faster? What are the rates for them? So it helps faster in the sense that you get all the paperwork. So for example, this previous case where this person submitted the case and there was a problem with it, now they got an RFE, request for evidence, which delays the case. But if you had come with the lawyer, we would have spot this and try to fix it sooner, so it would have made less delay in the case. But the government does what the government does. They take random time. Now, it does help having a lawyer because they're going to submit stuff hopefully cleaner and better and all that kind of stuff. It's not guaranteed, but that's where the speed comes in. And what's the rates for them? Well, it's different for everybody. It's like, what is the rate for a doctor? You got to go to the doctor, talk with them, see what your situation is, and figure it out from there. So it's best to have a consultation. Nadega, actually, you know what? I'll answer Nadega's question. Then we go to Instagram. Nadega asks, thank you for your answer, John. But I already have an asylum interview. I'm waiting for the answer. Approved 7 months. And it takes a year. They're supposed to give me a green card. No, they won't give you a green card. You have to apply for a green card, which would take more time. But you need to get your asylum approved first. And then once it's approved, it's a year from the approval date is when they do it. So let me jump over to Instagram. I think we got some questions here that I'm missing. Hopefully I didn't miss too many of them, and they're still watching. Massa asks, hi, my parents' case got approved with the national visa center 2 months ago. It's not approved. Your documents are qualified. It just means their basic documents were somewhat acceptable. How long does it take to get an interview? Approximately 3 months, 1 year, 2 years. There's no approximate, unfortunately. Sneeza asks, I was admitted to the U.S. as a K-1 holder and got married already. Can I provide consultancy services remotely in my home country from the U.S. before I receive an EAD? This is a complex question. I can't recommend someone work without authorization. There is the laws say during the 90 days you might have work authorization incident status. It's not clear on that. Because you are married to a U.S. citizen, if you work without authorization, but you don't create fake documents, stuff like that, then it doesn't affect the case necessarily because you're married to a U.S. citizen. I can't recommend you do that, but that's that. And there's this line of legal thought that Customs and Border Protection believes, but we don't know what USCIS believes, is that if you're working for a foreign company and the money you make is foreign, not taking away a U.S. person's job, you could do that work here. But we don't really have good samples of what USCIS deals with this. CBP has said they do this. Regulations sort of go for this, especially with customs. But this is one of those things you're best to talk to in private. But that's the general answer. There's no specific answer I give to that, unfortunately, because it's not clear. Most likely, it's not going to be a problem. But first of all, I need to know all the facts of your case. And secondly, I can't guarantee it because the government is inconsistent. If you want to be really safe, then don't work, unfortunately. But that's the best answer I give in this forum. Chandy asks, how long is the EB3 process? Well, it varies. It could be several years for anybody, but depending on what country you're from, it could be 10 and 15 years. So that's not the best way to ask that question. There's a lot more to it about the process. It's just not an easy answer to get into that. So you're welcome, Snizana. Let's go back. Lukerson asks, I sent it to Carol Stream. I don't know, Lukerson. I haven't seen the file. That's the best answer I could have given you. Saki follows up. The case is not at the MVC yet. My attorney mistakenly marked both ways. That sucks. The attorney's probably not an immigration attorney if they mark both of them. But because in the question there on the I-130, it says, do you want USCIS work or do you want the embassy? You got to mark one. If you mark both, that's not good. And it was approved last month. And priority is current. So if it takes more than a year for USCIS to send my case to the embassy, yes. So Saki, if they didn't send it to the embassy, if your approval notice says the case is stuck with USCIS, you can try calling USCIS and say it was a mistake. We did list the consulate there. Please change it. May or may not work. You can file Form I-824 to get it going. That could be something to do. You get your congressperson involved and ask him to help, maybe the ombudsman's office, and also just maybe filing an I-130. So and just starting it from new to correct it. So in these kind of cases where you have people come to us where they clearly made a mistake, not this one, they wrote both. They literally wrote LA or Los Angeles field office or locally in USCIS. We'll usually tell clients do both. This is what to do. an I-24 and an I-130. Because the I-130 sometimes gets approved in like 2 or 3 months. And especially if they have approval, it may work faster, just safer, just do both and see whichever one happens first. A lot more filing fees and money, unfortunately, but this is what happens, unfortunately. Tejon says, I filed the I-130 approved, then they asked for I-24. How long will it take to send approved application to NBC? I've been talking about this all night. It's not clear. Hopefully 3-4 months, could be a year and a half. Sometimes just file a new I-130 is the way to go. But Charles, can I mail medical while waiting for adjustment of status after biometrics are done? No, that's not a good idea. If you filed an adjustment of status case, part of the application is for you to send a medical checkup with it from I-693. But many times, in most of my cases, I will not submit it with the application, have my clients do the medical checkup after filing the case. It just makes the medical checkup last longer that way and less of a rush while they're getting all the paperwork together. But you do not want to mail in the medical checkup on your own to them. You have to wait for them to request it, either to mail it to them and use that request notice as a barcode and stuff to send to USCIS, or if you have an in-person interview, you walk into the USCIS field office and give it to the officer in person. But if you send it your own, it may not get there, it may get lost, you may have to do it again. It's not a reliable thing to do, so do not mail stuff. USCIS has said such in recent memos and news things they put out, press releases. Do not mail it to us without us asking. So that's the answer to that. GH asks, I heard no interviews for non-immigrant visas until 2024. What about immigrants are still interviews? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're not going to give any visas for another 2-3 years. Now things are backed up, but that's just nonsense. So that's not it. And there's backups, but till 2024, maybe tourist visas in some countries are backed up for a year or something like that, or 600 days might come to that. That may be what you're talking about. So there's some embassies, if you want to go file for a tourist visa, their public times on how long it takes to get a visa appointment is like 600 days. That may be what you're talking about, but not generally. Shelba asks, my fiance is a British citizen and I'm a 10-year green card holder. We want to file for a green card from the USA. Is it possible to file from USA if we marry in the US when it comes on ESTA? So there's a lot of issues with that question. First of all, this is private stuff. You really should be talking to an attorney in private. But download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. All your answers are in that guide. First of all, you cannot file for adjustment of status on ESTA if you're married to a green card holder. You have to be married to a citizen. Second of all, you can't come in with the intent to do that, because that could be considered misrepresentation or fraud if you're trying to game the system to avoid the embassy procedure. So there's 2 layers of problems that exist what you're doing. But more importantly, you've had a green card for 10 years. You really should talk with an attorney in private about getting a U.S. citizenship. That's the wise thing to do. And right now, my assistant Katrina just said, you might have heard the bop sound or something, but she just announced you're the winner of our consultation, a free video consultation. If you like, take a screenshot of where you're watching this, so your username or wherever it is pops up, so I know it's your account, and email that to me so I know it's you, and then we schedule a free chat for 15 minutes to talk with you if you like your fiance as well by video, to go into more detail on this, but to get to know. But the general issue is this: you can't adjust status on ESTA if you're married to a green card holder, and you can't enter the United States with the intent to stay. That's going to be a violation. Fortunately, in your case, you're going to have to go the long way around, get married and file an I-130. As a U.S. person, just as a non-British resident, getting married in the UK is hard because they have this rule where you have to be there for 30 days before you get married or some crazy thing like that. So it's going to be a lot of havoc. You have to travel around to get married, unless you're also a resident of UK or something like that, which doesn't go together with being a green card holder. But as you see, it gets deeper and deeper to fix this. And so that's why it's better talking to you in private instead of a public forum like this. Our regular Paranoid Android, we did announce 3 winners already, right? So, okay, we got a couple more minutes. We already announced our winners for the free lotto raffle. If you're interested in getting these free consultations, come again next week, 6 p.m. Pacific time. We give away 3 free video consultations. Peter Andrew says, if I'm authorized to work for my U.S. employer, but also previously had existing part-time employment abroad, which my foreign contract continues remotely, would there be any conflict with my O1 now? You know, Paranoid, that's just too deep a question. I got to see what's going on. Sorry, I can't answer that here. I clearly stated my current approved O1 that I had an existing contract with my foreign employer. It goes down to all the details, and when I talked about the other case about the fiance visa, if you're working in the United States, how they're going to interpret that as a violation or not is going to be on a whim of an officer, so it's something you got to be very careful of. Nadega says, thank you very much, John. God bless. God bless you too. Thank you. And Vichili says, appreciate all your suggestions through your videos. Great work. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for everyone who joined. As always, what a great group of people. I think we answered all the questions that are popping up for us. I appreciate it on TikTok, on Instagram. You know, TikTok is Immigration Lawyer John. Instagram is JK Law Firm. and on YouTube pages and Facebook and everywhere, and LinkedIn. It's great to be here, all you. Catch us if you want to learn about the E2 visa. Send me an email, and we'll register you for the E2 private seminar session. You'll like that, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. And download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. If you want to schedule a private consultation, just email me at info@jqqlaw.com and we set that up. Until next one, God bless, be safe, everybody. It was a lot of fun. Bye-bye.